Sometimes, the brightest stars are born in the darkest places. Sometimes, life gives you nothing, and you have to carve your own way. This is the story of a woman who rose from chaos, overcame fear, and became her true self. This is the journey of Demi Moore. Where and when she was born. Her real name. Demi Moore was born on November 11, 1962, in the small town of Roswell, New Mexico. Her birth name was Demetria Jean Gwines. She later adopted the last name Moore after marrying musician Freddie Moore when she was just 17. But the name that would go down in history, Demi Moore, was one she chose for herself. Her parents and family. Her childhood didn't begin with comfort or love, but with abandonment. Her biological father, Charles Harmon, left the family before she was even born. Her mother, Virginia King, was very young and struggling to cope with life. Later, her mom married Dan Gwines, a man who became Demi's stepfather, but never truly a father. He drank heavily, there were constant arguments, and the family moved often, more than 30 times throughout her youth. Imagine being a child who never feels safe. That was Demi's reality. The hardships of her childhood. Living with a mother who battled addiction and mental illness was like living in a storm. Demi often found her mom after suicide attempts. Once, she broke a window to get inside and save her. At just 15, Demi learned a devastating truth: the man she thought was her father, wasn't. Her world collapsed, but she didn't. Demi struggled with a stutter, deep insecurity, and trauma. But instead of breaking, she began to build strength from her pain. Her first steps in the industry. At 16, Demi dropped out of high school and moved to Los Angeles. She worked as a model and even as a receptionist, barely getting by. And then, came a turning point. She met her neighbor, a young actress named Nastasia Kinski, who told her, "You could be an actress. You've got it." That moment changed everything. Demi started taking acting classes. She auditioned constantly, facing rejections, but never gave up. Her first real role came in the soap opera General Hospital. It wasn't fame yet, but it was her first step. Breakthrough and rise to fame. Throughout the 1980s, Demi began building her career, starring in several youth dramas, including St. Elmo's Fire. People started to notice her. But everything changed in 1990. The film Ghost became a global sensation. A story of love, loss, and the afterlife, and Demi's performance was raw, moving, unforgettable. She wasn't just a rising star. She became the face of a new kind of Hollywood woman, emotional, powerful, authentic. That was the moment Demi Moore became a household name. Top 5 films that made her a star. 1. Ghost, 1990. She played Molly, a woman grieving the loss of her partner. The film touched millions and became one of the most iconic love stories of all time. 2. A Few Good Men, 1992. Starring alongside Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson, Demi played Lieutenant Joanne Galloway, a tough and principled military lawyer fighting for justice. 3. Indecent Proposal, 1993. A dramatic moral dilemma: would you spend one night with a stranger for $1 million? Demi's powerful and emotional performance stirred global debate. 4. Striptease, 1996. She played a mother-turned-stripper fighting for custody of her daughter. Controversial, yes, but also a story of female strength and survival. 5. G.I. Jane, 1997. Perhaps her boldest role. She shaved her head and trained like a real soldier to portray the first woman in Navy SEAL training. It was a message to the world: women can be warriors too. Top 5 highest grossing projects. Ghost, 1990, over $505 million worldwide. Demi earned around $3 million for the role. Indecent Proposal, 1993, around $266 million. She was paid $5 million. A Few Good Men, 1992, over $243 million. Her fee was about $2 million. Striptease, 1996, $113 million globally. Demi made $12.5 million, becoming the highest-paid actress in Hollywood at the time. G.I. Jane, 1997, though box office earnings were around $97 million, her salary was a remarkable $11 million. Life after fame. After reaching the top, Demi faced a series of personal and professional setbacks. Her films started flopping. She divorced Bruce Willis. Later, she married and split from Ashton Kutcher. Addiction. Injuries. Depression. But Demi didn't stay down. In 2019, she published her powerful memoir Inside Out. She spoke openly about trauma, addiction, and healing. Not to shock, but to liberate. Her book became a #1 New York Times bestseller, and inspired thousands to share their truth. Demi also became a philanthropist, working to combat human trafficking and help survivors of abuse. She grew. She matured. She transformed her pain into purpose. Final inspiring message. Demi Moore's story isn't just about fame. It's about falling and rising. Breaking and rebuilding. She wasn't born into privilege. She wasn't handed anything. But what she had was resilience. Courage. Vulnerability. Fire. Because real stars aren't made by lights and cameras. They're forged in the dark, by those who never stop pushing forward. Demi Moore didn't just survive. She conquered. And if she could turn pain into power, so can you. This was the story of Demi Moore. A story of struggle, strength, and transformation.